All right, we're ready to go again. I'm sorry that I'm chuckling. I'm just, but for the audience, Kayla and I will actually. I'll just say it. It's 9:30. We normally get on the video at 9 to discuss kind of like pregame what we're going to discuss, how we're going to discuss it, and we got off topic and we talked about the pain of business and
Mhm.
and all that comes with that. And we tried to figure it out before we started our podcast. How did we do?
Hell, I don't know how we did. That's how I feel all the time. I don't know. Are we doing well? Are we really screwing shit up? I don't know.
It wasn't a painful conversation. It was an uncomfortable conversation. It was just, discomfort. I got accused of some things that I wasn't too happy about.
I got
Like-
accused of things as well, but that's okay.
but see, that's a good partnership.
But
That's
I'm
where
not
you
going to quit. I'm not going to quit. I think this ties into what we're talking about.
absolutely.
Is like figuring it out. Like, I don't know. It's not nowhere in my mind am I like, I'm quitting. I'm done. It's just like, how much pain is this?
That's right.
You know?
Well, and then again, it's like I love this phrase. I mean, I keep going back to it. I probably go back to it more than I should. And even like with my kids, and if I'm coaching people, it's like, okay, I really don't like looking at myself in the mirror. Really don't like the way I'm huffing and puffing when I'm walking up and down stairs. It's uncomfortable. I hate it. I don't like it. It's painful, and it's also painful to work out. It's also painful to get up early in the morning. Not painful. It's uncomfortable. But so we got to choose which one is it. All right, because there's going to be pain. There's going to be discomfort. And almost anything we choose to do, especially if we're growing, right? If we're growing, there are going to be pain. There's going to be pain associated with it. So
I
our
always like
conversation,
I don't know exactly the phrase, but I think about this phrase often is like a hard life or hard things now equal easy life, easy things later. Or the vice versa. Easy life or easy things now equal hard later. And so I think it goes with business. I think that goes with fitness. I think it goes with everything is like, if you're doing hard stuff now, that is uncomfortable and causes discomfort to a certain degree. That is just setting you up for an easier life down the road, whether it's financially, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally. Like if you do the hard stuff now, it'll be easier down the road. Or if you want to coast right now and not do anything hard and you just want to like exist and live this cushy, easy life, then shit's gonna get real hard later.
yeah, it is. And through that hardship, you're learning. You're learning about you. You're learning about what you're capable of. You're learning about what you can withstand. And you're also figuring out how to get up off the ground again, right? And that whole process of failure being hard, it being hard, being uncomfortable, it teaches you how to move through things. So our conversation is going to be about pain, and it's going to be about exercise and fitness, and how pain, maybe, or discomfort or effort, those three things can be confusing to people, right? So how about this phrase? I love this phrase: "No pain, no gain." What are your thoughts? Give me a little thought on that. You had to hear that growing up from your coaches,
Oh
right?
God. My dad and my coaches, yeah, it was I think that was a constant thing, and I think it still like lingers in my mind now. I think I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it's the wrong words in there. I think the point, I don't think you have to be in pain to have progress or see progress or, quote unquote gain. But I do think that a level of discomfort has to be met in order to see growth. Like if you're not growing, you're dying, right? That's the quote. So and the only way to grow is to face some type of discomfort. I think we're in the fitness world where we get it wrong is I think there's two sides of it. I think people misinterpret discomfort for pain, so they think they shouldn't do it, and they think that fitness and exercise and nutrition and all these things should be easy, and if they're easy, you're not doing it right. But then I think there's people on the other side that it's like they don't know when to stop because it's detrimental to them if they keep going. So it's like we have to figure out that I think the pendulum is swinging of like, it's either like all or nothing. I'm going to get through it no matter what. That's not a good mindset to have. Or on the other side, it's I'm feeling a little bit of discomfort. I'm feeling achy. I'm feeling like things I've never felt before. I shouldn't be doing this. And that's not the right mindset either. It's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. So let's take three things. Let's take three
Okay.
things and kind of describe them to our audience and help people maybe walk through it, maybe how to respond if they're feeling these things. So there's effort, there's discomfort, and then there's pain. And each of them are going to create some type of response from your body, right? Effort could mean that you're breathing heavy. It could mean that you're getting a little tired. Your muscles are getting sore, maybe not sore, but they're feeling, strain through the workout. That's effort. Then we've got discomfort and pain. Talk to me a little bit about effort and how someone can really keep that. Effort is not that is not the stop. That's not the all or nothing. I mean, if you're feeling strain through the effort, keep going. But talk to me a little bit about how someone can kind of manage their thoughts and their emotions and their decisions when they're going through that effort.
Yeah. Well, I think your mind, a lot of this honestly comes down to training your mind as well and like recognizing the feelings, right? Because your mind will always, as soon as you are facing some type of discomfort, your mind goes to, I should stop. I should stop. Because your mind's just doing its job and trying to protect you from harm. And we, as humans, we just constantly live in a fearful state. And your mind comes in to protect you from harm. And so when your body's feeling discomfort or you're feeling things that you haven't felt before or at a level that you haven't felt before, your mind is going to tell you, stop, this is dangerous.
They
And I
watch they
think,
watch their watches and their heart rate goes up. They get an elevated heart rate and they go, "Oh my god, I got to slow down."
yeah, no, that's not, I mean, I don't think, well, that's a different topic, wearables, but like, even if you're not looking at your watch and you're like, oh my God, my heart is pounding, I'm breathing hard, like this is scary. And it's like, okay, but is it actually dangerous? You have to decipher, you have to teach your mind to understand the difference in discomfort and actual danger. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle is they haven't faced enough adversity in their physical world to teach their mind that.
Mm.
Right? Like you can rewire your brain to say like you tell it like stop, no, shut like I don't know about you, but I have these weird like conversations with myself when I'm in the workout, like running yesterday was like, oh my gosh, I need to stop. Like and then I talk back to myself and say like, no, like you're fine. Like what's the worst that's going to happen? Like I like have a full conversation for an hour with myself. But because I have done this, I've experienced pain and I've experienced a lot of discomfort. And it's like just getting yourself to rewire your brain and tell it, stop. I am safe. I am safe. You are safe. Like this is part of it. This is part of the journey. This is why you do these things. Like this, you will feel better after this. You'll be proud of yourself. You will see progress, like all of these things. I think that's where, in the effort piece, people just need to kind of rewire and like second guess the thoughts that they have because they're not always true.
Well, yeah, I'll never forget the first time you put me on that 10-minute air bike test, right? And 5 minutes into it, I am saying, "Stop, stop, stop," and you had me do it, a couple months later, and it was like my brain and my body had a whole different response because I learned a little bit more and knew I was more capable of more effort, but now you get into, okay, this discomfort maybe where there might be some stiffness in the movements or some mild muscle soreness or tightness. Now we're getting more into that, really the discomfort stage. Talk to me
Yeah.
about that a little bit.
Well, I think it's just um a noticing. I think that's what happens here is like with the effort, it's like, yeah, I'm putting in effort, let's keep going. And when you start to face discomfort, it's maybe you make a mental note of it, of like, okay, at this point, I start to feel this way, or with this weight, I start to feel this way. With this range of motion, I start to feel a little bit of discomfort, and making a mental note of it to, see if it keeps happening, to see if it was like a one-off thing. I don't think that it's an immediate thing to where you're like, nope, I'm finished. This is dangerous. I'm done. I think it's just you kind of keep a log, a mental log, or hell, you could even keep a actual like physical of when I do this, I feel more discomfort than I normally do in other things, and just pay attention to it and make sure it doesn't get past that point, or or just notice if it doesn't happen every time or something like that. Does that
Could
make
it
sense?
be, I mean, but could it be something as simple as maybe noticing, hey, when I've got 185 pounds on the bar for a bench press, my shoulders feel like X. But when I have 145 on there, I don't have that same response.
Yeah.
Maybe looking at
Yeah.
alternatives, but to the movement rather
Yeah,
than
well, I just had this conversation yesterday. Is like I had a client, and what same thing is when he bench presses, he has a some type of shoulder impingement. We're not sure what it is. I don't think it's like a chronic thing, but it has been lingering for a while. When he barbell bench presses, he gets the pain. When he dumbbell bench presses, he doesn't get the pain. And so it's like,
related.
well, we don't have to barbell bench press. Like, he can almost do the same weight with dumbbells as he would have on the bar. It's safer. Like, you can just drop a dumbbell on the floor if you need to. So yeah, that's like a noticing. He's noticed when he barbell bench presses, it hurts. He logs that. Next time it hurts. Next time it hurts. Okay, let's do dumbbell. Okay, it doesn't hurt now. It's just that catalog in your mind of like learning it. It's just, I think where people get it wrong is it's like when I bench press, it hurts. It's like, well, or when you push, it hurts. It's like, well, does it hurt when you do a push up? Does it hurt when you do a plank? Does it hurt when you do dumbbell bench press? Does it hurt when you go horizontally, when you go vertically? Like there's a lot of things that go into it. And yeah, you could modify, you could change the modality that you're doing, like what equipment you're using to do it. There's a lot of things that you can do. But I don't think you do it right away. It's like this guy, right? He's bench pressed for the past 8 weeks and it hurts every single time. That's a sign that we probably don't need to do that right now. But if it just happens one time, that doesn't mean we just write it off and we don't do it again.
Yeah. So that's discomfort, right? But now I remember seeing you one day at the gym. I hadn't seen you in a couple days, and you were I forget exactly what you were doing, but you said I heard a pop and a pain.
Yeah, my rib. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So there's
wasn't good.
no, so now we get in more of this pain. It's sharp, it's sudden, it's severe. I'll never forget. It was Sunday. It was this is gosh about a year ago, and I was doing offset landmine offset remaining deadlifts, and I was challenged myself, and I did one lift, and I got to the top of that lift and I felt it. Some spasm just all of a sudden took place and I couldn't move. And I couldn't move to the degree I was afraid because you talked to me about these barbells and how they work and if they slam on the ground they could break and they're $400 and I've got this thing in my hand and I can't bend over and I'm afraid to drop it down because the other end is not on a plate. It's in that landmine adapter and so I finally got it down, but that was a different response that told me, you know what, you shut it down today.
Yeah. And I think that's a smart move. But I can guarantee, I think I know you, and even with my little rib pop, was I didn't say, and I'm going to guess, and I hope that you didn't say, well, I'm done with fitness because I hurt myself doing it. Right. And you'd be surprised how many times I get that comment from people. It's like, well, I hurt myself doing something, so I'm done for the week. And it's like, well, my rib is one piece. I can do a million different things that don't impact that at all. I can stay completely seated and do a whole workout. I can definitely bike. I can definitely walk. I can do these things. Same thing with you is like, maybe you hurt your lower back and it's going to take some time to heal. Yes, stay away from that. But there's a million other things that you can do to keep your fitness going, to stay consistent, to still like trend in a progress that has nothing to do with that area. So that's a noticing. It's like, yes, I'm going to shut this down and I'm going to heal this because this is more chronic. I'm going to heal this, get it better, but I'm still going to continue my fitness journey.
Perhaps there was a ton of things that I could do, right? And you mentioned walking, biking. I mean, those types of things. But the other thing I did is, okay, well, yeah, this is creating this is a pain level, okay? And it was hard for me to move, but there were exercises, things that I could do that will start to kind of rehab it to allow me to get back to that full fitness, not just, that abridged version of it. So thinking about, so there are times, right? There are times when your body will be in pain that you've got to recognize that. And but there's my question back to you, I guess, and maybe you just mentioned this. Uh, it's not a full stop, right?
No, I don't think it should ever be a full stop. I think from my like mishap in my little injury that you were talking about, there was also a lot of learning in that. I think everything when you get injured, you can learn from it, and so you can decrease the chances of it happening again. That point in time, I was not in the right headspace to have a heavy barbell on my back. I was not focused on the lift, so there was some movement with a load on my back that shouldn't have been there. I didn't even want to do that freaking lift anyway, so I was pissed off. There were just a lot of factors that went into it. So yeah, I hurt myself. It's like, yeah, you dumbass, you were doing like it. I'm not blaming it on fitness. I'm not blaming it on the bar. I'm not blaming it on the weight that was on there. I blamed it on myself because it was my wrongdoing. I wasn't focused on the exercise that I was doing. I wasn't in the proper position. I wasn't breathing properly. That's why it happened. So you better believe that the next time, once I recover, the next time that I have a heavy barbell on my back, I'm going to know better. And I'm going to make sure I'm focused on that lift. I'm going to make sure that I'm breathing correctly, that there's no twisting of my torso so I can stay set and center so that doesn't happen again. And I think if people looked at their fitness injuries like that, and they just learned from it. It's like you're doing hard stuff. You're going to get injured. You're not bulletproof. Like when you do hard things, injuries will happen. But then you learn from those injuries. It's like, well, the last time I did this, I know X, Y, and Z were not right. So I'm going to make sure the next time that I do have those right. It's all learning, and that's progress in itself too. Like when you learn those things, then the next time you do them, you can adapt just as a muscle adapts and grows when you're lifting weight.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, again, I think back to that last rep that caused that back spasm. It was I know my shoulders rounded, my back rounded. I just lost form, and that's the thing I learned. That's what created the injury. It wasn't the lift, it wasn't the weight, it was my technique that created that. So now going back into it, I know, hey, if I'm at this weight, my last couple reps, I really got to focus. I've got to keep my focus through these last 2 reps because if I lose it, I could injure myself again. I like this. I use this a lot in other areas. Red. It's called kind of like traffic light. Let's just rapid fire kind of go through. If we could, like a rapid fire, green, yellow, red, and it's kind of like almost like effort, discomfort, pain. Okay, green light, traffic light, green.
Yeah.
Help me. I'll frame it up for you a little bit. Muscle fatigue, heavy breathing, normal muscle burning, stiffness, normal effort. How would you respond in a green category?
Good. We keep going. We keep doing what we're doing. That's what we want.
Okay.
Those
Yellow,
are all good things.
Yeah, right. All right. Yellow. Now we're yellow is kind of discomfort. Pay attention. Modify. We hit mild joint discomfort. We've got tightness that doesn't disappear. Maybe an old injury, brings itself back up. What do we do in this situation?
Well, I think we change or modify or evaluate what we are doing and see if we can find a better alternative or solution. I think too, when we say modify, I think it could go 2 ways. Like we talk about decreasing the range of motion. I also think you could potentially why the discomfort's happening is because, and I think you and I are guilty of this, is because we don't get into those range of motions enough. So it causes discomfort. So potentially the solution would be to get into that range of motion more into, in a protected way. So I'm not saying just because your knees hurt when you squat, that you get a heavy barbell and you deep squat more. Maybe it's like you're just holding a deep squat with assistance just to get, it's the same thing. It's like training your brain to say like, this position is safe. This position is comfortable. And then your body learns like, okay, this is okay. It's okay. So when you have a barbell on your back, you can then potentially work on getting into that range of motion because you've learned that it is safe and your body's adapted.
Yeah, I'm 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 on board with that. I mean, in that situation, I find myself true. I do. I find myself avoiding where there is that pain, and it's more chronic pain with me. It is more chronic pain. It's but I also find that when I'm in that movement, it goes away. I it's just even it's like to me it's I don't know why I don't do it more often. I mean, really, I always want to just keep pushing, push through it. It'll fix itself. And if I were just do some heel taps, down from a box, very controlled for a little bit, do that squat. I'll notice the next day when I go up and down stairs, I don't have pain. But when I stop doing those types of movements and I avoid the movement altogether, the pain's like all the time. Discomfort is all the time. So how do we wrap this up, this conversation on pain today? Um, what are your kind of your final thoughts on an individual, and many of the individuals that we have coming to us, which I love, aren't coming to us with a rich background in fitness. They really want to see changes. They're at a point in their life where they are looking forward and not happy with what's on the horizon, and know if they can do something today that their health, their vitality, their their ability to enjoy life is going to improve if they get started today. So there's going to be a lot of feelings and emotions and that people are going to experience. So how would you help this individual? Final thoughts on pain, discomfort, effort, and how to respond to each.
Yeah. Well, I think from a client standpoint, like if you are a client of ours, knowing that we're not purposely like purposely putting things in to cause pain. So if something does cause pain, that's not the intention. We purposely do things to cause discomfort. So I would say, that's one piece. I've had this conversation is like just trust the process. Is like I'm not going to give you anything that is going to be harmful to you, at least not to my knowledge. That's never the intention. So if I give you something and it causes discomfort, like that's probably a good thing. And then just with people too that are new to fitness, like you said, that are starting out, and we have a lot of people and they'll say like, I am so sore, like I am so like achy, and that's part of the process and it will get better. Like, but you have to stay consistent with it. If you come in for a week and you're so sore and then you don't come in for 2 weeks, you're going to be right back to where you started that next time you come in. And it's not going to get better in the long run. You're a 40-year-old man who's never done exercise in your entire life. So of course you're going to experience a lot of discomfort. You're probably going to experience a little bit of pain and we'll adjust it. But if you stop doing it, it's only going to get worse as you get older. So it's almost like you have to embrace that and know that you're doing hard stuff now, so it's easier later.
Later.
That's my thought. And I don't know. I have clients too. I mean, I think it happens to be just the type we've talked about this. Some of the demographic of clients that I take is like they are on the other side. So I think there may be people that listen to this and it's like, they'll tell me, oh, it's okay. Like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to push through. My shoulder hurts. It pops every time I can't sleep at night because whatever. And it's like, well, then stop doing what you're doing, is like, that's not good either. It's not good to push through because it's only going to make it worse in the long run. And if the ultimate goal is to live, like you said, we're chasing longevity and have a quality of life. If you can't perform daily life tasks because of something you push through in fitness, that's not what we want either. So I think the ultimate goal is to kind of find that happy middle ground of like embracing and loving discomfort because it's going to make you better and that that's what's going to lead to progress, but also knowing when too much is too much.
Yeah. I love it. I do. It's yeah, we've got both not extremes. We've got a good mix of clients. Some that are coming to us with no knowledge and no experience, others that have kind of toyed with it here and there and they've started stop. They want more consistency, they want more accountability, they want more help, they want more understanding. That's something that we as coaches can help provide. I think it's important to talk to your coach, talk to someone who's been exercising. Is this normal what I'm feeling right now? Yeah, it's normal. Okay, that is normal. All right. But I can't lift my hand above my head. Is that normal? No, that's that's not normal. But I love this phrase, and I've heard it a while ago, and I use it all the time. And it's simply this: it's crazy how uncomfortable the comfortable zone was once I got out of the comfortable zone, right? When we ask our bodies to do something it's not used to, it's going to be uncomfortable for a while. But then it's going to your point, it's going to get better. And you will say, and you will just say, I never want to go back to that comfort zone again. I never want to go back there because of the way I'm feeling today, because I had someone that helped me. I had someone that pushed me. I had someone that could help me understand what my body is going through right now. And I'm just glad that I'm not doing it by myself and I've got someone to help me. So
I
I would
have
say
something
again, I
else
think
to add that just
yeah,
came in my mind. Also, I think, and I have a few clients that are like, and experiences that have come up is also there's a level of accountability to your discomfort or your pain. And I think it comes down to too, are you doing things? And we've talked about this on the podcast, but like you can't expect what you're doing the 3 days in the gym to help 100% with that. Right. So if you have very like your quads are super sore, or maybe like your VMO above your knee is really, really sore, but you train 3 days a week and then 4 days a week you sit at a computer the entire day, I believe part of your own responsibility for that is to like, and I suggest it is maybe we got to move that. Like we got to move, we got to walk, we got to take care of that because you're going to be back in the gym and you're going to get sore again. But if we can flush some of that out by movement, or on the flip side, someone that's injured and I'm tweaking their programming in the gym to make sure that we're taking care of that shoulder, but then they're out playing softball when their rotator cuff is not great, but I'm doing all the work in the gym to make sure their programming doesn't aggravate it anymore. But then they're doing this stupid shit outside of the gym that doesn't help it. It's like it's counterproductive. Both sides of those are counterproductive. So I think that clients have to think too about doing their part outside of the gym, because we're going to do our part in the gym. We're going to give you recommendations. We're going to try to help you outside of the gym, but you have to take those too.
love it. Let's end it right there. Let's put it all on the client. Yeah, let's put it there.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I
But if
know
you're
that's
sore,
not.
if your
I
legs are
know.
sore, go for a walk. I mean, it'll help. It's like you're sore, you're not injured, you're not in pain. Go for a walk. I bet it'll feel better.
I agree 100%. I absolutely. I was just like, just give me a little jab there. There's nobody. I mean, I look at our coaches. I look at Chloe and I look at Kurt. Look at you. Look at me. Look at Lauren. And this is I just my experience as a coach. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to understand 35, 40, 50 different people, their lives, their emotions, their relationships and with other people and how our little world of fitness fits into it. Um so it's really hard to really make sure that we are really customizing whatever we put together for our clients that really does meet their needs in a holistic way, not just in the gym. So I think your point is really valid that we as coaches have to have this conversation, with our clients that there is a responsibility outside of the gym that they own, and but having that conversation is not comfortable all the time. All right, let's finish up. Let's wrap up. Hey, thank you. Thank you for today, and thank you for the pre-talk. Thank you for the pre-talk this morning. It really got me going
I was on
today.
my soapbox there for a minute.
Hey, I wouldn't mind being on your soapbox. I don't want to be I don't want to be the topic of your soapbox all the time, but I'll take it. See you next
It's all
week.
good. See ya.